Some homes are flying off the market in just a few days. Others cannot get a single showing in the same city, in the same price range, same square footage, not even sometimes even the same neighborhood or the same street. So what is really going on? If you've been watching the market here in Central Florida recently, you have probably noticed this too. One home goes under contract in 48 hours, another sits for 90 days, then 120 days, then there's a price reduction, and there's still no serious activity. In a shifting market like ours, understanding what makes a home hot versus cold is the key to winning. So whether you're thinking about selling or buying or just trying to protect your equity, you need to understand what's really moving homes right now. In this video, I'm going to break down why certain homes are selling fast, why others sits, and what this actually means for you in today's market. For those of us who have not met, my name is Bent Danholm. I work with buyers and sellers throughout Central Florida in my capacity as a real estate broker, and I specialize in helping my clients make strategic, position-based decisions, not emotional ones. I don't believe in hype. I believe in positioning and strategy. Because in this market, those two things, positioning and strategy, are everything. Now, before we get started, let me say, if you want straightforward market updates without the spin, without the hype, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss any of my videos. And I post content designed to help you make smarter real estate decisions on a very regular basis. And this is specifically useful in a market that doesn't behave the way it used to. So now that we got this out of the way, let's talk about what's really happening. The first and biggest factor separating hot homes from cold ones is pricing reality. We're no longer in the 2021 or 2022 markets. Buyers are not stretching just to win. They're calculating, they're comparing, and they're very cautious. Over the last couple of years, Central Florida homeowners have dealt with rising insurance costs, increasing property taxes, and higher maintenance expenses. These pressures are very real. In fact, the Central Florida Homeowners Insights report highlights how financial vulnerability, especially around insurance and taxes, are one of the biggest unspoken fears among homeowners, almost no matter what price range we're talking about. But here's the hard truth. The market does not price homes based on your expenses. It prices homes based on buyer perception and comparable sales. Homes that are priced correctly for current conditions, not last year's peak or the year before or the peak during COVID, they are the ones that are moving quickly. They hit the market and they're aligned with what buyers are seeing in the data, and buyers respond. On the other hand, homes that are priced to let's see what's happening are sitting. And when a home sits, something subtle but extremely powerful happens. It becomes stale. And buyers start asking, what's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold? Are they unrealistic? And the longer it sits, the more leverage shifts from the seller to the buyer. The second major factor is presentation. In today's market, buyers are literally making decisions in seconds. They're scrolling through listings online, and they're more than they used to be. And if your home doesn't immediately stand out, they move on. It's not really about luxury versus non-luxury. This applies to actually every price point. Clean, well-prepared homes with strong photography, good lighting, decluttered spaces, and a clear lifestyle message attract attention. Poor presentation, on the other hand, kills momentum instantly. And here's what's really interesting to me, at least. Buyers today are way more selective than they were a few years ago. With higher interest rates, every dollar matters more. And it seems to also affect people who are paying cash. They also look at it this way. And that means that buyers definitely have less tolerance for projects. I saw a recent report that says 70% of all buyers want move-in ready homes. Well, the buyers I work with, it's almost 100%. They don't want to do anything. They want it to be move-in ready. So they don't want to have a project. They want a house, a home. So if a home looks like it needs work, even cosmetic work, most buyers mentally subtract more than the actual cost of repairs from what they want to pay. A dated kitchen isn't just a dated kitchen. It becomes just another expense. An older roof isn't just an older roof. It becomes insurance risk. A cluttered room isn't just cluttered. It becomes, this really feels a lot smaller than it is. Buyers are looking for clarity and confidence. This ties directly into something that we're seeing locally. Many Central Florida homeowners are already feeling financial pressure from insurance and maintenance costs, and buyers know that too. So when they see a home that looks like it may come with additional costs, they hesitate. And if they're not worried about the cost, a lot of buyers don't really have to worry about the cost. They don't want to take on the work. So either way, as a seller, you're losing if you're not making sure that your home is more or less move-in ready. The third factor is product and location alignment. Some homes still sell fast simply because they match what buyers currently want. They have functional floor plans, they have updated finishes, they have energy efficient systems, they're in a good school district, and to be fair, as a seller, you cannot change that, you cannot move your house, but all the other things you can do something about. Proximity to major roads without being right on top of traffic, they want that too. They want reasonable HOA structures, and they want solid insurability. Homes that check all these boxes move. Homes that don't, even if they're priced fairly, do take longer. And this is where some nuance matters. We're not in a full buyer's market across the board. We're in a selective market. Entry-level move-in ready homes are still competitive. Well-positioned mid-range homes are still moving. Luxury properties, if they're in good condition and priced strategically, are still selling, and they're selling fast. But fixer-uppers, overpriced luxury homes, properties with obvious deferred maintenance, unless there's something else that you cannot get anywhere else, like it's the last lakefront home in Windermere or something like that, those homes are sitting. Now let's talk a little bit about buyer psychology. Buyers today are different than they were 2 years ago. They're more informed, they're more analytical, they're more cautious, and if they're financing, higher borrowing cost means that monthly payments matter more, even at high-end properties. And when monthly payments are higher, buyers want certainty. They want to feel like they're making a smart decision. They're asking, what will insurance cost? What does property taxes look like? How old is the roof? Is the HVAC newer? Is this in a flood zone? Is the HOA stable? And if some of these answers create some friction, they pause and potentially they move on to the next home. Remember, according to the Central Florida Homeowner Insights Report, rising insurance and property taxes are major concerns for homeowners. Buyers are factoring those concerns in before they even ever make an offer. That is why transparency and preparation matter more than ever. Now let's address something really important. Some sellers assume that if their home is not selling, it's the market that's bad. But that is far from always true. In many neighborhoods right now, you'll see this pattern. One home sells in days, another one sits for months. Same area. The difference is almost always strategy. So here's a very quick breakdown of what separates hot from cold homes right now. Accurate financing based on current, not historical comparables. Strategic pre-market preparation. Professional staging or strategic furniture placement. Same thing, just using your own furniture instead of someone else's. Strong photography and video. Clear positioning in the marketplace. Very honest communication about condition and updates. And especially in my segment, selling the lifestyle. When those elements are in place, homes create urgency and necessity. When they're not, homes create hesitation. And hesitation definitely kills momentum. Now let's talk specifically about luxury for a while, because this is where the split is really most visible. At the luxury level, buyers buy because they want the home, not because they need it. That means the emotional connection has to be strong, very strong. Luxury buyers have options, not nearly as constrained about on finances. Sometimes they're not constrained at all. It doesn't really matter what it costs. They're not pressured. They're patient, but they are still extremely sensitive to value. An overpriced luxury home can sit for a long time because that buyer who is looking for that home simply waits. They might get the emotional attachment, they might get the necessity, but if they cannot justify it financially and logically to pay whatever the seller is asking for that home, they're not moving forward. But a well-positioned luxury property that is priced correctly and presented beautifully, it can and most often will move quickly. I've seen this happen repeatedly, all the time. Now let's flip the conversation back and talk about buyers for a moment. If you're a buyer watching homes fly off the market while others sit, here's what you should understand. When a home goes under contract in 48 hours, it's usually because it was priced correctly, it was move-in ready, it aligned with buyer expectation, and it created perceived value. When a home sits, that can mean opportunity for you as a buyer. Cold homes are not always bad ones. Sometimes they're just overpriced. Sometimes they're poorly marketed. We see that all the time. Sometimes they're launched at the wrong time. But as a buyer, you should know selective markets create leverage. So if you're patient and strategic, there are a lot of opportunities right now, especially in segments where sellers overestimated demand. But here's the caution. Don't assume that every stale listing is a bargain. Some homes are sitting for very legitimate reasons: condition issues, location challenges, and insurance complications. That's exactly why you need data, not guesswork. Now, let's connect this to something bigger. Central Florida homeowners are navigating a complex environment. Rising insurance premiums, tax concerns, maintenance costs, and hurricane preparedness are all part of the equation, all part of what we're living under here in Florida. That reality is influencing buyer behavior. Buyers are calculating total cost of ownership more carefully than ever. And that's why the market feels uneven. It's not crashing, it's not exploding, it's kind of sorting. Strong homes are rewarded, weak positioning is exposed. That's the difference. If you're considering selling, this is what you really need to ask yourself. Is my home and my expectations truly aligned with what buyers expect today? Can I price it based on current data? Have I removed as much friction as possible? Does it look like a safe, confident purchase? In other words, would I buy this? If you're considering buying, am I chasing hype or am I analyzing value? Am I emotionally reacting to fast sales or am I strategically identifying leverage? This is not a market for shortcuts. It's a market for clarity, you could say. Before we wrap this up, let me say something I think is really important. I work with a select number of clients at any given time because I believe strategy requires focus. It doesn't mean I'm unapproachable. It just means that I want to concentrate 100% on my clients. And that also means that if we work together, you get direct attention and a clear plan, not guesswork, and you get me 100%. So with that in mind, if you want a straight assessment of your home's position, or if you're a buyer trying to understand what's truly worth pursuing, why not reach out to me, contact me. We'll look at the data, we'll look at your goals, we look at your position, we look at where you want to go, and we'll build a strategy around your specific situation. Have you noticed homes selling fast? Some homes are selling faster while others sit for months. So now you know what I think about what makes the difference. But what do you think makes the difference? Is it the price? Is it condition? Is it location? Is it marketing? Is it something else? Or is it all of the above? I would love to hear your comments below. So let me know what you think. I read all of them. And again, if this video helped you understand what's really happening in today's market, why not subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future updates? This market is not random, it's selective, and that's why you need to be on top of it. And when you understand what separates hot from cold in this market, you stop reacting and you start positioning. My name is Bent Danholm. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.